Hello, my name is Walid and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be cooking some lamb with some rice and dal. In this recipe we will be using a pressure cooker. The reason we're using it is to make the cooking process faster. You don't have to use it if you don't have a pressure cooker. I will guide you through the timing with the regular pot. Let's start by looking at the ingredients. Let's start by looking at the spices. Starting from the top at 12 o'clock, going clockwise, we have black peppercorn, some bay leaves, dried lime, cloves, cinnamon stick, cardamom, cumin seeds, and finally coriander seeds. These spices will be wrapped in a cheesecloth and dropped into a liquid, so you don't have to fish them off the water. Not included in the picture, but definitely will be used, is salt. The quantity we'll add will depend on the liquid, so don't forget the salt. We're also gonna need medium-sized red onion. Here I have 3 small red onions and about half head of garlics, which comes out to 6 to 8 cloves of garlic. And finally the Chana Dal. Here we have about 250 grams, a quarter kilo of Chana Dal. For the lamb, we will be using various cuts of meat. You can use any cut of meat you like, as long as you can cook it through, or in our case, boil it through. So this is the assortments of meat that I will be using. As you can see, the meat contains some shoulder, some rack, some ribs and breast, a mixture of meat. This amount of lamb will come to about 1.5 kilos. We will start our cooking process by adding little oil to the pan and then browning the meat on all sides. Once the browning is done, we're gonna remove the meat and set it aside. That's what we're doing now. Make sure that you turn the lamb regularly and brown it on all sides. You're giving me wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry. Oh, I don't wanna jinx it, baby. This is what your meat should look like, browned on all sides. Once the browning is done, remove the meat from the pot and set it aside, leaving the oil in the pot, which is very important. This is where the flavor is at.
Some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite.
Using that beautiful lamb oil at the bottom of the pan, we're gonna add the onion and scrape all that juices, cooking them halfway through, just like that.
But I don't wanna miss you, baby.
Once the onions are cooked through, we're gonna add the garlic, mix it in the oil for a little bit before adding the lamb, just so it absorbs the juices. And immediately after that, we're gonna add in the lamb. For the pressure cooker, folks, make sure that you follow your cooker guideline. Don't overfill your pot. Make sure that you follow the guide to your cooker. I don't know how large your cooker is, so I cannot recommend a specific amount. Every cooker is different. So make sure you don't overfill it and make it dangerous. As for the regular folks with a regular pot, just fill up the lamb and fill it with liquid. Add the cinnamon sticks and dried black lime. Fill your pot with water, room temperature water, and add in the spices wrapped in a cheesecloth. The reason I did not add the cinnamon stick and dried black lime to the cheesecloth is because they're easier to fish, and I didn't want to use a large cheesecloth. So that's the only reason why they're not included in the cheesecloth. Cooking time for pressure cooker, folks, should be between 1 to 1.5 hours. You can check your cooker whenever you can to make sure that the lamb is cooked through. As for regular pot, the cooking process should take about 2 to 2.5 hours for the meat to cook through. You can always check your meat is done by making sure that the knife goes easily into the meat or it falls off the bone easily. That's what we want. While the lamb is cooking, we're gonna turn our attention to the dal. What we want to do is cook the dal to about half cooked stage. So we're gonna fill a pot with water, add in the dal and salt, and cook it for about 15 minutes. Very important to keep an eye on the dal, because once it boils, we need to remove the foam from the top, making sure that in the end of the 15 minutes we get a more clear liquid. Once the dal is half cooked, it should still have the hard bite in the middle. It shouldn't be cooked all the way through. It should be half cooked. So make sure you stop the cooking process once that halfway cooked point is reached. Then you're gonna drain the liquid and set it aside. The next move should be removing the cooked meat from the liquid. Your meat should easily fall off the bone, and you can easily pierce a knife through it, or even a fork through it. That way you know that the lamb is done. Once the meat is removed, make sure that you keep it warm either by covering it with a tin foil or in a warm oven without cooking it if the waiting time is long. After removing the meat and the spice cloth, this is what you're gonna end up with. Liquid gold. Now, what we need to do is adjust the seasoning. Salt. Make sure that you taste it and add your salt accordingly. Next, we're gonna add in the washed basmati rice. Make sure that you mix in the rice well to make sure that the water level is okay. The water should be at least at the surface of the rice. You might need to add more water, or if there is too much water, there's no problem of adding more rice. Followed by the half cooked Chana Dal. We're gonna complete the cooking process by adding it in. Mix in that well. Cover and let it cook for at least 10 minutes on medium heat. A side note for anyone using the pressure cooker, remember, during the rice cooking time, the whistle will not be working. No steam will be coming out. So make sure you keep an eye on your rice. Check it every 5 minutes. We are cooking it like a regular pot. So no steam will be coming out, no whistling. So don't expect anything. Also, there is no problem to keep the pot open while cooking the rice, or if you prefer not to lock the pressure mechanism. It's okay. After 10 minutes, this is what you should end up with. A cooked rice and cooked dal. Turn off the heat and let it sit for another 10 minutes off heat. After the 10 minutes of heat, we are ready to serve the dish. Thank you for sticking until the end. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and consider subscribing to the channel and sharing the video with anyone you think will like the recipe. If you have any questions or comment, please feel free to leave them below. This dish can definitely be enjoyed alone, the rice and the meat, or if you prefer, you can add the tomato sauce. I will leave a link to this recipe below. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.
You whip up my